Presented by Listen Headlines. Latest financial news from trusted sources. Updating daily noontime New York City.
Wall Street Journal Markets. June 19. 11 o'clock America, New York. Is the stock market closed on Juneteenth? Markets will be shut Monday for Juneteenth, a federal holiday that observes the end of slavery in the U.S.
Global economy.
June 19. 10:16 America, New York. Yellen says U.S. economy will slow but recession not inevitable. Treasury Secretary tries to ease investor fears about stubbornly high prices and rising interest rates.
The Library of Economics and Liberty.
June 19. 10:15 America, New York. All the King's Horses, and all the King's Men, the Genoa Conference and the Gold Standard. A century ago, many of the world's great statesmen gathered in the Italian city of Genoa to build a monetary order for the post-war world. Before 1914, the world's leading economies had been on the classical gold standard.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
June 19. 10:03 America, New York. Race to replace cigarettes is heating up. E-cigarettes have the edge over heated tobacco among American smokers, but it isn't guaranteed to last.
Global economy.
June 19. 9:28 America, New York. When trying to predict inflation in the U.S., remember the wild cards. A long reliance on easy money may give rise to new difficulties as the Fed raises interest rates.
Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
June 19. 8:45 America, New York. Germany steps up measures to conserve gas as Russia slows supply. Germany will restart coal-fired power plants and offer incentives for companies to curb natural gas consumption, marking a new step in the economic war between Europe and Russia.
Daily FX Market News.
June 19. 8 o'clock America, New York. Dow Jones, S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 outlook for the week ahead, not looking good. The Dow Jones, S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100 plunged after the Federal Reserve stepped up efforts tame runaway inflation with a 75 bps per second rate hike. The economic docket is light, but volatility remains ripe.
Wall Street Journal Markets.
June 19. 7:03 America, New York. The lords of money pose massive threats to markets. The troubles of central banks in the U.S., Europe and Japan mean investors should prepare for the sort of risks that lead to extreme shifts in prices.
New York Times Business.
June 19. 7 o'clock America, New York. The week in business. The Fed goes big. It was a rocky week in the financial markets and for crypto. Elon Musk met with Twitter employees. And there are signs of a slowdown in real estate. Wall Street Journal U.S. Business.
June 19. 5:30 America, New York. Recession probability soars as inflation worsens. Economists have sharply raised the probability of a recession, now putting it at a level usually seen only on the brink of or during recessions.
New York Times Business.
June 19. 5 o'clock America, New York. Why a Rhodes Scholar's ambition led her to a job at Starbucks. Jazz Brisic became a barista for the same reasons that talented young people have long chosen their career paths. A mix of idealism and ambition. Jazz Brisic, a Rhodes Scholar, on her way to work in February at a Starbucks in Buffalo, where she helped unionize coworkers.
BBC News Business. June 19. 4:38 America, New York. Rail strikes will punish innocent people, Transport Secretary says. But union leaders blame politicians for failing to stop the strikes, which will begin on Tuesday.
BBC News. Business.
June 19. 4:38 America, New York. Rail strikes will punish innocent people, Transport Secretary says. But union leaders blame politicians for failing to stop the strikes, which will begin on Tuesday.
Global economy.
June 19. 4 o'clock America, New York. Did UK inflation steady last month after April's surge? Market questions as the FT's guide to the week ahead.
Marginal revolution.
June 19. 1:44 America, New York. Recent TFR by income. I think a lot of people don't know this relationship has a U-shape. pic.twitter.com/Q23oatsme. Matthew Iglesias, at Matt Iglesias, June 18, 2022. The post recent TFR by income appeared first on Marginal Revolution.
Marginal revolution.
June 19, 013 America, New York. Work from home and commercial real estate values. We study the impact of remote work on the commercial office sector. We document large shifts in lease revenues, office occupancy, lease renewal rates, lease durations, and market rents as firms shifted to remote work in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Armstrong Economics.
June 19, 008 America, New York, Fauci and secret payments. The post-Fauci and AMP. Secret payments first appeared on Armstrong Economics.
Armstrong Economics.
June 19, 003 America, New York. Happy Father's Day. The post-Happy Father's Day first appeared on Armstrong Economics.
Armstrong Economics.
June 19, 002 America, New York. The History of Juneteenth. The post-The History of Juneteenth first appeared on Armstrong Economics.
Daily FX Market News.
June 19, 000 America, New York, USD, JPY Outlook. All eyes on Fed testimony as BOJ sticks to easing cycle. Developments coming out of the U.S. may influence USD, JPY over the coming days as Chairman Jerome Powell is scheduled to testify in front of Congress.
New York Times Business.
June 18, 2044 America, New York. Apple workers at Maryland store vote to unionize, a first in the U.S. Roughly two-thirds of employees at the store in Towson, MD, voted to join the union.
BBC News. Business.
June 18, 1947 America, New York, interest-free loan scheme aims to reach 20,000 people. People struggling with their finances can access small, zero-cost loans as part of a nationwide trial.
BBC News Business.
June 18, 1947 America, New York. Interest-free loan scheme aims to reach 20,000 people. People struggling with their finances can access small, zero-cost loans as part of a nationwide trial.
BBC News Business.
June 18, 1930 America, New York. What are we supposed to feed our babies? As the U.S. grapples with a formula crisis, parents are turning to the black market for supplies. BBC News. Business.
June 18, 1930 America, New York. What are we supposed to feed our babies? As the U.S. grapples with a formula crisis, parents are turning to the black market for supplies. Daily FX Market News.
June 18, 1800 America, New York. Euro Fundamental Forecast. ECB Emergency Meeting, Anti-Frag Tool and AMP. Gas disruptions. The euro faces many challenges as Russian gas supplies dwindle and the ECB does little to allay bond market nervousness after unsubstantiated mention of an anti-frag tool.